First Alert Meteorologist JD Disharoon here, and we're going to kind of go over the forecast for tomorrow as we take a look at that severe threat that's going to be rolling in for your Sunday afternoon into the evening hours. The good news is it looks like the severe threat's going to be confined to the afternoon and the evening, so not the whole time that we're going to be seeing the rain roll through, but unfortunately, the bad news is there is still the severe threat, so it's something to keep an eye on as we make our way in through the rest of your Sunday before we start to transition really into more of just a rain event on Monday, but that'll bring its own problems as well. Now, for today, it was quite a warm one out there. We got up to 86 degrees for the afternoon. Average temperature this time of year for the high is 71, so we got to about 15 degrees above average for that morning temp, 67. 17 degrees above average. And we're going to be looking at another very mild night ahead, very muggy as you wake up for tomorrow morning, indicative of that moisture in the air that's going to be helping to fuel the showers and storms for your Sunday. So here's a look at what we have outside right now. This is Kennesaw Mountain. Temperatures in the city right now at 82 degrees. Winds out of the south-southwest about 9 miles an hour. We've had some pretty stiff breezes earlier this afternoon, and we're going to be definitely starting to see those winds pick up as we head into your Sunday ahead of the storms and during the storms as well. In fact, that main threat for severe weather is going to be strong, damaging straight-line winds. Isolated tornadoes, though, cannot be ruled out, and it's something that the entire First Alert weather team is going to be keeping an eye on as we go in through tomorrow. Courtney Jacobazi and Patrick Pete will be here in the morning. Patrick will kind of do that overlay into the afternoon with me, and then I'll be taking care of you guys overnight before we see Ella and Rodney move in for your Monday morning. Meanwhile, temperatures outdoors right now, we're going to be looking at upper 70s to lower 80s. Very mild for this time of year, but take a look. For the most part, about the same temperature we saw this time yesterday. Meanwhile, our pollen count still expects to be very high. It was extreme today. It's going to be extreme tomorrow. And Monday, we may get a little brief reprieve because of those showers that are going to be sticking around. But I still think if it's not extreme, it's still going to be very high out there. So unfortunately, just not that time of year where the rain's going to help too much. It will give us a brief reprieve, and we'll take any one we can get, but it's not going to be long lasting. So here are those temperatures overnight. Notice still in the mid to upper 60s. You're going to feel that air walking outside tomorrow morning. It'll be humid. It'll be very damp feeling, very indicative and very typical of what we would see in late May and early June, not in the beginning of April. But again, it's that air mass ahead of this cold front that's helping to fuel those storms and the severe threat as we head into tomorrow. And it's not just us. All of North Georgia, including the North Georgia mountains, are going to be in those mid to upper 60s as you wake up for your Sunday morning. So it's definitely going to be not a great feeling as you walk outside, unfortunately. Tomorrow, we're looking at those showers and storms. It will be warm. Not as hot, though, as we saw today with high temperatures right around 70 degrees. And you can take a look. Highs tomorrow really depends on where you're at. We're calling for about 78 here in Atlanta, but notice the 60s off to the north. That's because the showers are going to roll into those areas a little bit quicker than the rest of us. So folks like Ellijay, Rome, Canton, Helen, those mid to upper 60s, that's because you're going to be dealing with the rain earlier. As we head into, notice Eatonton, 82, Griffin, 75, Sanford Thomaston, and Covington, those mid to upper 70s. That's because the rain's just going to take some time to get to you in the day. And because of that, it basically means that we're going to have a little bit more time to heat up for you. So, sorry, I didn't update this one particular graphic. Let me go ahead and put it in there real quick for you so you can see that severe outlook for your Sunday. Almost everybody is in a level 2 of 5 severe risk for tomorrow. And again, want to emphasize the main threat is going to be those damaging straight line winds, but we're not ruling out isolated tornadoes. And we saw what happened earlier in the week when we had that chance for an isolated tornadoes. We had a couple, and they were on the weaker side, but it doesn't matter if it's a low-end tornado. If it's hitting your place where you're living, you're working, it's not weak to you. So we're definitely going to have to keep an eye on that as we go through tomorrow. Not expecting an outbreak of tornadoes by any stretch of the definition, but a couple are possible, mainly in the northern and western portions of the state. Once you really get past Conyers, it looks like that threat really starts to go down, which is why Athens and Eatonton are in that level 1 risk for tomorrow. So let's time this out. It's going to try and play all the way out. So let me go ahead and pause it there for you. Notice the morning, 5 a.m. Already got some isolated showers, some heavier downpours for folks up into Dade and Whitfield counties, moving on over in towards Murray and Catoosa counties as well. By the time we get to about 8 a.m., maybe some isolated showers in Carroll, Douglas, Paulding, up towards Cherokee and Bartow counties. But for the most part, it really doesn't get into the metro area steady rain-wise until we get to about noon to 1 o'clock. That's when we start to see those heavy showers and the thunderstorms, the severe ones possible with this, moving into those areas like Carroll, Douglas, Paulding, Bartow, Cherokee. Moving in towards the city, really parallel along I-85 as we head towards about 1 o'clock, maybe making its way towards Athens as we get towards 3 or 4. But notice as it gets farther to the east, they start to kind of fall apart a little bit. Again, that's why they're in that lower 1 out of 5 risk. There is still a threat for storms. The atmosphere is just not quite as conducive in the eastern part of the state to begin with. Once we get later on in the day, you'll notice 5, 6, 7 o'clock, then things will start to pick up for our eastern counties because we'll see the heat of the day and a little bit more things going on in the atmosphere to help those thunderstorms go. Now, the other thing we need to keep an eye on, this is going to be rounds and rounds. So it's not just that one line moving through. Notice as we get through 6 o'clock, another push of moisture. 10 o'clock, another push of moisture. Now, don't take these times as gospel. We're not saying it's going to be at 6, it's going to be at 10, but it's letting you know that every 2 to 3 hours, maybe 4, but mainly 2 to 3 hours, we're going to get another round of heavy rain and some storms rolling on through here, and that could even impact that morning commute. Now, by Monday, I think most of this is staying away from northwest Georgia. So I think really the showers are going to be confined to really where the front starts to kind of slow down at. And Atlanta is going to be right on that edge, which is why I think we could potentially still see some heavy rain early on Monday morning. By the time we get into about 8, 9 o'clock, for the most part, this is south of us. Folks in our extreme southeast viewing area like Eatonton, over there into Putnam, Baldwin counties, you could still see the moisture. I think for the most part, we'll stay dry. But then by the time we get to the later portions of the day, another little push could start to bring some of that heavier rain back up towards the metro area. I think still south and east of Interstate 85. So again, North Georgia staying pretty much dry and cloudy for your Monday. But Atlanta could get a few more showers for the evening commute. And notice by 8 o'clock, we finally start to get that front out of here. And we're going to start to see those clearing skies, which will continue on into your Tuesday. But take a look. So this is one particular model calling for widespread 1 to 3 inches of rain across North Georgia. Some models indicating even more than that. Because of that, National Weather Service has issued a flood watch for the majority of our viewing area until we get to Monday evening. So the folks that are not included are going to be folks east of Athens and north of Gainesville. So Fannin County over in towards White County, Habersham County, not included with this, but pretty much everyone south and west of those areas are, including the entire metropolitan area of Atlanta and stretching all the way back down towards Columbus, up towards Chattanooga, and west towards Birmingham. So here's your 7-day forecast. Go ahead and ignore that first alert weather day on Tuesday. I forgot to take that little icon off. So Tuesday's looking good. But once we get the showers and storms out of here, take a look. We're talking cold air compared to what we have been seeing moving in. Now, is it cold? No, not really, but it's cool for this time of year. But I do want to point out for those of you who like to garden or farmers who have their crops already planted and maybe have started to sprout, Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, yeah, we got 40 degrees for Atlanta, but we all know outside the city it's going to be much colder than that. And there is the potential for a freeze or at the very least a frost early Wednesday morning. So for those of you who have done your gardening and you're very proud of that work and you want to keep it, go ahead and Tuesday night prepare to take those safeguards with your plants and farmers with your crops just to keep them safe. The good news is that's the only day, and I think that's probably the last one of the year that we're going to have to deal with. But look at some of these highs. Tuesday, we're going to be struggling to get out of the 50s. You know, we're swinging from 88 to almost 58 for a high over the course of 4 days. It's a 30-degree drop. So if you've put away your light jackets, bring them back out. You'll need it for at least Tuesday and Wednesday. Now, by Thursday morning, if you're like me, you don't really need a jacket at 46 degrees in the morning. Some of us do, so keep that in mind. But I think once we get into the 70s Thursday and Friday, we'll be looking pretty good. Notice, though, Thursday night into Friday, another weak front starts to push through. We'll knock our temperatures back down to the 60s Friday and Saturday, and late Thursday into early Friday morning, we do have that potential for another round of showers. Not thunderstorms with that one. This one will be just more of a kind of a drizzly, misty, annoying kind of rain type an event. But overall, that is your forecast for the next several days. So again, we're going to be keeping an eye on it. We will continue to watch the latest models as they come in, and hopefully they bring some of that rain a little bit farther south. I do love the rain this time of year. It's great for the pollen. It's great for the plants. It's really a beneficial and, you know, kind of one of those things that we need to keep the ecosystem going. We just don't like the severe weather that goes with it. So for your allergy sufferers, hope you get a little help out of it. For the rest of us, hopefully the severe weather stays away, but it's definitely something that, again, the entire First Alert weather team is going to be keeping an eye on over the course of the next 48 hours. Hope everyone watching is having a wonderful weekend so far. Have those umbrellas handy for tomorrow. We're going to be on air tonight at 10 and 11 after Final Four, and then again on air and online all day Sunday. Have a blessed day.